Hello, welcome back to Rory's Workshop, episode 3 of Splitting the Fergie. Something's happened overnight. Let me show you. What's happened? What's changed? The back end is still complete. The engine is now free from the front axle. I didn't film it because I wasn't intending on doing it, but there was a lot of play in the front axle. I needed to order some more parts from Mayhill Tractors. So I thought, well, as I'm here, this is getting out of control, but we'll get there. I'll show you the front pin. So this is the front pin that was fitted, and you can see how scalloped and worn it is in here. This is another one that I bought from an auction a number of years ago, and I bought a whole front axle. A whole front axle, there's part of it. We're complete with spindles for £6. £6. And so I thought, because the spindles on this one are quite worn, but I thought, well, you know, it may come in handy, and actually I'm pleased I did, because it's providing a good comparison between the one that was fitted and the one that how it should look. But the main reason that I needed to take the front axle off was to measure this bush in here. There's two different bushes. As it turns out, I didn't know that. So it was a typical thing. I'll be 2 minutes, darling. I'm just going to measure this bush. 2 hours later, the front axle's off. It's broken down into many parts, and in fact I had to radio down to the wife for her to come and give us some assistance, because the front wheels, obviously they wanted to go wherever they wanted. So and to get a good measurement, an accurate measurement, I need to take the front end off. So we've got it off now. I'm now fighting, and I think fighting is the correct term to use here, with these two bolts, and these 3 bolts. I think I've written this one off by smacking it too hard, but such is life. Bolts are replaceable as long as I don't damage any of the structural pieces. Yes, the front arms are bent. It is quite a common thing on these Fergies. I don't really mind. It doesn't hamper it too much, really. If a good pair turn up, I probably will get them as well and throw them in. So at the moment, this bolt has finally just come loose, and this one's about to come loose. Copious amount of the old WD-40, and it is working. I sprayed them all last night before I came out. I sprayed them when I first came in because I knew I'd probably end up taking it off. And actually, even within the first hour, the bolts started coming out, which is bliss. Especially on something like this. This front axle hasn't been off for, again, a number of years. So it's good to see that the bolts are still okay, but they are fighting me. So yeah, it was just an update, really, to keep you up to speed, how things are going. So at the moment, I'm stripping down the front axle, and then I'm going to take out this bush and prepare. Mayhill Tractors are shipping me a whole load of stuff. I've got a bottom end gasket kit coming for the engine, which includes the T-pieces for the main cap and such things like that. A couple of odds and sods. There's something for the Nash as well. We've got a filter coming for the Nash, so that can be done. I've ordered all the oils, small fortune in oil, and a back end gasket kit as well, actually, because whilst I'm here, I'm going to obviously drain out the back end, and I may take off the inspection covers on each side to have a look inside and make sure everything's A-okay. And as I say, whilst it's in the workshop, it's probably going to be in here for the whole week. So whilst it's here, I'll do it. Once I get this set up, all broken apart, I'm going to take off the fuel tank, and then we'll have a look at the tappet adjustment under there. That's all ready to come off. So, plenty to be getting on with. And again, a huge thank you to Bundy Bears, to Lance on Bundy Bears. Again, the link will be in the description. He's been a fantastic help for me getting this done. And hopefully, yeah, just go and have a look at his. He is very funny. But yeah, thanks again, Lance. Thanks for that. I really do appreciate all the help. And obviously for Lance for subscribing as well, which is really good. If you haven't already, do think about subscribing to the channel. This is random stuff that I get to play with. And this is what it's going to be, whether it be the Fergie, the Land Rovers, the Morris, or any form of random stuff that me and my friends have. It will probably come in here at some point, and we'll do something on it. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to get all this stripped down and then probably put it into the Smithy's Mate to try and push the bush out. But I suspect I'll end up having to hacksaw it out. But we'll get there, won't we? So typically, as soon as I turn the camera off, give it another squirt WD-40, and the bolt fell out. which is good. I'm very, very pleased. So now I need to get this bush out in here. This is quite worn, and I do have a new one coming. So the easiest way for me to get it out is to cut it out. I've tried smacking it with the drift, but obviously it has been in there for some time. It's absolutely no good trying to drift it out. So I'm going to cut it. I'll cut it probably down here, and then get some chisels and a punch, and then we'll try and sort of fold it up and knock it out. I do have some round files, so sort of with to go and clean up the area post cutting, post to clean it all up and make it all ready for the new one. But it's a bit slack. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll just tighten this up a little bit because it's a little bit blunt, a little bit slack. Looks good. So there you go, you could just see where I've been cutting, and I'm going to smack either side of that deep cut with a chisel, and hopefully it'll bend up. It is cast iron, so it's probably going to shatter and go all over, but we shall see. I know I look like an idiot, but I'd rather be safe than sat in an NHS. They're busy enough without me going with cast iron in my eye. Oh, beauty! Look at that. It's done exactly what I wanted it to do. Boop! So there you can see it's split, and it's also split up there. That must be where the original split is, but I didn't see that. So we'll tap it out. I'm very happy with that. We'll get now that's ready for the new one. Really, I just got to clean it out with a drill, and then when the new one arrives, we'll smash that one in. So now I think it's time to take the fuel tank off. We'll have a look at the rocker assembly. So I'm also taking this opportunity to clean out the sediment. And there's loads of crappy sediment at the bottom there, which is fine. That's what the sediment filter's for. But oh my word, we'll get that out. We'll get it cleaned up. I'm a wanted man again today. Right, let's clean. Make sure it's nice and clean inside now. It's not chipped or anything, which is great. It seems to be getting more space for this. We'll put that back together. So I've disconnected it, the feed to the carburetor, and it is disconnected front and rear. I've taken the front bolts out, so it should, in theory, lift off. Now I'm going to put this straight outside and put it into my other workshop, so it's out the way. And my other shed, really. It's not a workshop, but it could be. Yeah, so it's out the way and it can't get damaged. So I'll be back in a minute. Now, I've never seen a Fergie engine without its tank on or stripped bare, really. So let's have a bit of a wander. So I need to undo these to get into the rockers. Oh yeah, it looks just like any sort of standard engine, really. So that's the rocker cover off. Mixed feelings on how I feel about what I can see before me. There's a lot of rust in here, and that's not good. The tractor had really good oil pressure, and actually from here the oil just goes straight back down into the sump. But so I've got a bit of cleaning to do, a bit of cleaning on the underside of the rocker cover as well, because that is where the rust has come from. Hopefully it's not too much, but I'll get in there with a rag. I'll block all the ports off, clean it all up, and then we'll go from there. I won't show it because who wants to watch me clean? That's not what you're here for, is it? And then I'll clean up the underside of the rocker cover as well, because that is quite bad. In fact, I'll show you. I'll put the fuel tank over here for now as well. So there you see the that is where the source of the rust. So I'm pleased it's not from the actual engine itself, but I'd prefer that not to be in the engine. But we'll get there. And then after that, I'll clean that up. We'll take the main cap off. And then, yeah, that'll be about it, I think. So I'm carrying on from where I left off earlier. I've tried to do the tappets, however, I've hit a small problem, and it's my own fault. Where I've put the bar across to support the block, just under here, I'll try and get it right, just under here, I knew about it, but I forgot. When I put the block as it is, I made sure that the crankshaft was up out the way. And obviously where that bar is right where number 1 conrod is. So I can only rotate the engine so far before it stops. So to that end, that's stopped that progress. I've taken off a lot of hoses, except this one. So they're all ready. I'll clean them all up and make sure they're ready for the new ones to go on. So now I'm going to turn my attention to the back end. It's full of oil, and all the oil is milky. I'll show you the oil. I showed you in a previous episode, but there's the oil. It's not looking fantastic. It could be an awful lot better. I've got a full back end gasket kit coming from Mayhill Tractors. That should be here tomorrow. So in the meantime, I think I'm going to drain it. Drain all the oil out of the gearbox on the back axle. In these, it's the oil is shared between the two, just in case you don't know. And inside here is roughly on the book it says 22 litres, 22.6 litres, I think. So bear that in mind if you're ever going to be draining this, that you have enough capacity to take the oil out and store it somewhere else. I've just pulled out this, now you can see 10W30. It is empty. We've used all the oil up in all of the cars. So now I'm going to drain it. I'm going to drain it from the gearbox first. Obviously, it won't matter because it will drain through, but I want to be able to control it. And the gearbox has a smaller drain, so I'm going to do it in my other oil catch can. Is about 6 litres, so I'm going to do it in 6 litre stints, probably about 5 litre stints, just to make sure I don't mess it up too badly. And then once I've got most of the oil out, I'm then going to leave it open to atmosphere, and hopefully the rest will follow out. That'll do for now, I think. Thanks very much for watching. If you've got any questions, do pop them down below in the old comments section. If you've got anything I could improve on, let me know. And we'll go from there. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching. See you later. Take care.